How are you doing? It's Michael Hepple back again for another interview. This time I'm chatting to Ian Salpekar for the second time from Gone Savage. If you haven't heard the first interview with Ian, I suggest you check that one out first. If I couldn't link it for you, it's the one with PastLife written in the thumbnail. As always, your support is always appreciated. Please, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell as well to get all the notifications of new videos, which I hope be getting up for you really, really soon. Finally, before I bring Ian into this interview, if there's any businesses out there that would be interested in sponsorship deal, email mickeyhepple@hotmail.com for more information on that. Now, Ian, welcome to your second interview with me. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you, Michael. Very well to speak to you again. It's been such a long time and time's flown. So, I'm doing okay, fella. Very well, thank you.
Good. Now, Ian, the last time we spoke, it was October 2020, the 15th to be exact. Doesn't it feel like only yesterday, just as we're saying? When did Will Glover and yourself really find the restraints of lockdown lift for yous and Gone Savage?
It's funny, Michael, we've done quite a few interviews recently, and this has been one of the commentators' questions that have been asked, but the impact to us was actually quite minimal, because we'd already gone to start writing the album, PastLife, and I started writing the tracks in about 2019. So 220, when that came along, that was part of the, if you like, the bit that we were putting all the bits and pieces together to get it finalised. So we wasn't intending to gig, and we wasn't really intending to move around the country either. So it wasn't as bad for us as it obviously was for an awful lot of people. So not saying we were lucky, I'm saying it didn't really impact. So quite fortunate, really. We all stopped at home and we got on with things. So it gave me more time to focus on Gone Savage.
Well, that's very true. That's very true as well, because I remember a lot of people had either gigs cancelled, so had to either reschedule, and it would have cost a lot of musicians money, as you were saying. Really, where at least you didn't have that kind of impact.
We didn't, and a lot of the guys and girls who, artists up and down the country work and do this for a living, you've really got to feel for these guys. We don't so much rely on this. I mean, obviously, things have changed from way back when people used to rely on income. We can find out we have other jobs sometimes, or we do other things, so we can supplement what we do. Well, a lot of the guys and girls really were reliant on it. So, very, very hard for a lot of people.
So, obviously, since the back end of COVID, then, have you done many gigs? No. And if so, have you done no?
No, it's a straight no, Michael. What's currently really taking up a lot of my time, so the guys can understand, a lot of bands these days are do-it-yourself, DIY. So you tend to have that many hats on. It's not true. So you go from like the artist to the manager, to the promoter. And at this moment in time, with the album being such a big focus, I write the music, I record the music, I engineer, I don't mix it at the moment, and so I do everything aspect of that prior to doing anything with the band. So obviously at the moment we haven't got a band, we don't have a current lineup that's static, so we're not like a traditional band where we have 4 or 5 guys, girls, whatever. We tend to have just myself, Will. We brought in a new guy, we'll talk about it in a moment, but that is it. And then we bring in people to do the gigs, the shows that we would do, say festivals and the larger clubs like your academy size venues. So we bring people in. So gigs wise, no, Michael, no gigs at the moment, but we would obviously want to promote the album when it's released this year with gigs, so we can come back onto that.
Yeah.
So we've not really been impacted. It sounds really unfair. Some bands have been really impacted, and we haven't. So.
No, but that's also a positive thing on your part as well, though. Now, looking forward, Ian, you were just about to say there, I think, you have had some personal news as Gone Savage. Tell me more about your new drummer and how it came about that he joined you.
Okay, so again, Gone Savage is a bit of an enigma, in so much as we are based, or we're officially, certainly way back in the day, we're based out of Manchester. So North Manchester would be our homeland. And then over the last, say, maybe 5 years, we've probably expanded that to like North Wales and such. Nowadays, though, core band is myself, and I'm based up in Preston, which is northwest. And the singer vocalist Will Glover is based in Bournemouth. So you know, and the drummer, and this is where we're coming to, is a guy called Dex Tyler. And yes, if your audience know their geography, he's based in Penzance.
Oh, all the way in West Cornwall.
You couldn't write it, Michael. You just couldn't write it. And the thing is, getting personnel these days, we've had so many issues. I mean, we really tell your listeners, if there's any guitar players out there, we're looking for guitar players. But even the drummer was so hard to find. And when you find somebody, you know it clicks with the band. We've been around bands for years. And we've had so many people recently, not over the years, but recently, they don't deliver. So they would like to do it, Michael. They would really sell themselves to do it. They sometimes can't do it. Or sometimes they haven't got the ability, or sometimes they haven't got all the tools, which could even involve like being stable or financially stable. We found somebody. Hooray! He's in Penzance.
Yeah.
He's got all the tricks. This guy has been a drummer for numerous years. New Zealand, he's originally from. It's called Dex Tyler. And Dex has worked with a lot of punk bands, which is quite ironic. So he did things with the Anti-Nowhere League, with Becky Bondage, and he's done tours all around the world, basically. And he's ended up in Penzance. So we're hoping once we can get this little bit out of the way with the album, and we can start looking at gigs, then, as I said, we want to try and bring in some guitar players to do those gigs. So watch this space. So yes, we have a drummer. Now we just need a guitar player. But we won't be short of offers on that one, I'm sure.
Yeah, and if there is anybody listening to this that is interested in becoming a drummer for a guitar player for you, sorry, all I've got to do is just message you on Facebook. I'd say, was that right?
That's it.
Just go to the Gone Savage Facebook page.
And people mustn't be worried about where they live. I mean, as you've seen with COVID,
yeah.
I mean, people working from home, people working from the beach, people working from the ocean. It doesn't matter anymore. So what we tend to do, Michael, is we can file share all our information. We can do everything online, and then we come together and we do like it's quite an intense session, rehearsals for a gig, for a promotion, for a certain element. You know, it's not just, we don't do the regular just pubs and clubs up and down the country.
Yeah.
We may do, but not at this moment. So anybody in the audience who thinks, well, I live in Newcastle, hey, who cares? Who cares? Because one of the guys lives in Penzance, one lives in Preston, one lives in Bournemouth.
You couldn't get any further if you tried, unless you come to Newcastle.
Exactly. So it's more about the person getting on with what we do, and you can click. Some people you can click on the phone, like we get on like House on Fire, Michael. You know, you just know that. So therefore, it's just it's a model that people do use, but not a lot. We find it.
I mean, later on as well, in the interview as well, we'll come to obviously how you can get in touch with you, and also obviously how to hear your music as well. But the next question to you, mate, is so what is happening with Gone Savage? Have you got any new music on the way? I know you were just talking about the album there. And if so, what is the story behind some of the new tunes?
Okay, so we have. So at the moment, we have certain tracks available online. Currently, we have an EP called Reservation, which was 2016. We have 3 singles on there, Ladder in the Sun, Bulletproof, and Caught Me Out. Those 3 tracks have been redone for the album with another 9 brand new tracks. So we got those currently circulating. But what we have, and we're releasing on the 4th of March, is a new single which is called Life in Black and White. And that is off the new album, PastLife. So you can catch it at the moment through our website. We'll come on to the website address, but you can hear it on the website. You can also hear it on, crikey, I think we've hit nearly 200 stations, international stations. This is internet and national, who are playing it now, because I wanted to do, I released it out early, and then we release it to the fans, and then we released it on the 4th of March to Spotify and whatnot. So that's the new music. The PastLife album we're trying to get a label to distribute it through, physical distribution, and obviously through some larger backing. If it doesn't happen, I will be releasing that by the end of May as a digital download. Not my favourite platform, but it's one that I'll do. So you'll have new music by Gone Savage and in mass by the end of May. I'm also looking at doing a live album, which we've got, ironically, there you go, we're talking about gigs, but we have a live album from it's a bit of an archive one that we did in Manchester back in about 1991, 92. And it's out of a big club that we did down there called Rock World, and it's a live recording, which I'm working on at the moment, and it's really good. It's got loads and loads of energy. So that will probably come out, but it probably won't happen till like later on in the year. So plenty of new music for your listeners, and new music for our current fans as well. So it's a kind of win-win there.
Yeah, it sounds really exciting, that, Ian. And I really hope Life in Black and White does well, and it should do really well here in Newcastle, as it is the Geordie's colours, black and white, isn't it?
I completely missed that, Michael, because it's like, when I saw that, I went, oh, yes, that would be so good. So I need to get on to who's your guy at the moment. Oh, crikey, it's the Bournemouth. The ex-Bournemouth. I can't remember. I used to follow Newcastle, but I'll be honest, I'm a Liverpool fan.
Oh, fair enough.
We got Keegan. I mean, we got Keegan, we got Beardsley. There's a few connections there. So, we're not doing too bad.
And who knows, we'll be chasing your tail in a couple of seasons' time with this takeover that we've had. What emotions? That's the one. And he's from Bournemouth as well. So we got him from. What emotions do you go through for a new release?
Well, at the moment, obviously we're proud of what we do. I mean, we spend an awful lot of time getting the music to a level that we think is better than what you would normally get. It's not a case of like being, how do you say, overloading it, but we do like to make it as best we can. So this set of songs, spend an awful lot of time, put a lot of money into it ourselves. Nobody in Frank Rolls has gone, so it's just me and Will. That's it, DIY band. And then we brought in people like David Rad Jones from Red City Recording in Manchester. He used to play and was in a band called Heaven's Basement. Maybe some of you listeners might have heard of them. And so he did the mixing of that album. And then it went off to a guy called Pete Moore, who does mastering for people like The Killers, U2, The Stones, I'm not saying that these people would pay an massive amount of money, but a lot of money to make it sound absolutely the best it could. So that's the kind of emotion behind what we do. Now, when it comes to actually releasing it, we tend to get stuck into the day-to-day stuff. So like I mentioned, we'd go back to the management side of things. I do all the social media, I'll do all the promotion of it. I find it very boring, if I'm honest, Michael. I don't enjoy that bit because I'm a musician and writer.
Yeah.
It's a necessity. I have to do it. So at the moment, we're trying to look for other people to take those the heavy lifting out of what we do, and so we can get excited about the gig and do the gig and do the talking heads and really buzz about it like we should.
See, I know when you're saying there, obviously the social media side of it, how it's not really how frustrating it can be, but obviously I know myself, obviously with being a radio presenter, I've had my Facebook page, Michael Hepple on the radio, for so long now, and it's only just hit the 500 like mark.
Long time, doesn't it, Michael?
And it's the same on my YouTube channel as well. This channel here, Michael Hepple Interviews. I thought I share every interview onto Facebook, and there's loads. It's just loads of time consuming into the social media. And one thing that I don't think gets enough recognition, and I was talking to Robin, who I interviewed from Big Fat Big a while ago, and she actually did a YouTube video on this on their channel. And basically that obviously how much effort goes into people's like art effectively, and she basically done a whole lot saying just consume it. If you can't do anything else, just consume their art. And it was a video was really like, it kind of hit home a little bit just how hard people work, and especially like on a small time basis, and it's like it's not a full time job, and just support everybody out there. Basically, it's the best thing you can do.
It is, Michael. It really is. I mean, when I look on Facebook, for instance, I mean, there was I've been doing this for the band for a long time. I'll be honest with you, I don't enjoy it. I don't. It's an absolute necessity, though, that you do, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And it's also, you've got to take yourself out of that comfort zone of saying, okay, well, I'm not a salesman, I'm not a marketing man, but you have to be. And you have to have confidence in what you're doing. And you have to do it, because if you don't do it, and you know, Michael, if you don't keep it up, you either lose traction on what you've already achieved, so therefore you just wasted 2 years, or other people, and this is the modern perception, is that you're not actually getting involved in what other people are doing, but you're trying to help everybody, but you can't. Yeah. So I tend to look through Facebook, and if I see your post, Michael, just to give it a bit of a nudge, I like it.
Yeah, I'm the same with you guys as well.
Yeah, I may sometimes look at the content. I do. I don't just like it for like's sake. But I can't read everything. But I do know that tick, will give you a little bit of a bump in your pursuit of getting a few more people, and it's that easy.
The best button on Facebook, and I'll say this time and time again, is the invite friends button on pages. It's the hardest button to get anybody to do anything with. I mean, if you do it with your own friends, but that is clearly the best way, is if somebody shares a post that you put on your Facebook page, if somebody, especially if they hit that invite friends button and gets people onto your page as well and go, look at this page, it's amazing. It's literally the biggest help to anybody out there, and I'll stress that all day enough as well. Even if you just do it for 5 people, if you press that invite friends for 5 people, them 5 people are then going to see a different page that they won't have seen on Facebook and could get into it and could potentially be more audience. And it's such an interesting interesting side to it, the social media. I know you said before it does kind of get you down a little bit when you're doing it, but I just find it so interesting when you look back at your page after a while and you think it's how much more audience growth it's got and how many people see individual posts as well.
I do stand back in pride, Michael, because I know that I have to do it. So you're absolutely bang on there. And when you're looking at it, you'll see things like, I won't get too far with listeners, so some might not even want to hear this, but like the reach. So I look at things like the reach, and I can see it working nicely. And, but you've got to keep nurturing it. And it's like, I say to the other guys that I work with, and they're like, oh, crikey. No, you've got to do it. You've got to get involved. So it's a real necessity, and it's sometimes it's a pain, but it's what it is, Mike. But you do, as you say, you can look back in pride and say, I've worked my page at short of 2,000 now, and I know it's organic.
Yeah.
I'm not paying anybody.
I'm the same. Mine is exactly the same. I've had loads of daft. Not gonna lie, I've had loads of daft messages in my spam saying, for just 10, 12, like all in dollars, usually it's all American money.
Yeah.
And it's like, we can give you this, and this. And I'm like, absolutely not. I'd rather do the work myself. I've put the effort into doing my videos, into my interviews, into presenting my shows. I put that effort in. I may as well put the bit extra effort in as well and try and get people to see it. And have you got any plans to come up to Newcastle? Are there any venues you've heard about up here, Ian, that you'd like to perform in?
The one that I know of is like Trillions.
Yes.
Is the one up there. So what I would like to do, because like I say, I'm working on the gigging side of things, but not at the moment, but I will be doing, is to put a few together. And dates like that would be key, and also up into, like Edinburgh and Glasgow and pick up that East Coast. Newcastle is a place that I would definitely want to put on my list. When you talk about gigs, I think for me, it's Nottingham's, your Newcastle's, your Manchester's. These are the places that I do remember and fondly of.
Very music heavy city, Newcastle as well.
Yeah. And an audience where they would get in as well and support. That's the other thing as well. I can't really say any city is better than any other, but there's certain places in the world, as we all know, that are more accommodating to help. As we were saying about the likes and stuff, I know probably in my own hometown, probably won't get the support that I'd expect in, say, Newcastle. But that's just the way it is. So, yes is the answer to that. I would think that we'll probably end up doing some gigs maybe towards the tail end but I'd like to put a series of runner dates together. But it's like I said to you before, Michael, I have to organise everything and commercials, and as I just said there, commercials. So if I can't get money to pay for it, how do I pay for it? Out of my own pocket? Yes, sometimes, but it's like I can't do it forever.
No, that's the thing.
So we are looking at sponsorship, if you want to call it sponsorship, or endorsement through, some of the labels, and hopefully we'll have something organised shortly. And then we can start playing more places, and that'd be great.
I mean, even now after lockdown, I know before lockdown there was that nasty post, I think, that you could say that the government put out there, was that ballerina. And even now, really, you could say that there's been absolutely nothing done to help the industry of music and creative arts, really, to give them a helping hand, because, like you said before, this is some people's actual day jobs.
Yes.
And they've had no help at all.
No,
and that's something that needs to change.
It does, Michael. And the other thing as well, I mean, it's great talking from an enlightened position, but a lot of these girls and boys, they don't have books, they don't have all this accountancy, they don't have all this evidence to get their, when they were looking at this furlough. They can't, because it's almost, dare I say, a bit cash on. Because it will be. It's the nature of the beast. It's like I'm saying to a guy who does a lot of odd jobs, let's say all your accounts for the last 6 years, you won't see his receipt from yesterday, let alone his accounts. So it's having that, dignity to understand that not everybody would do that. And I know people, basically, because they couldn't produce, because they'd say maybe they started doing it 6 months earlier, and then the others, they got nothing. And then now they're still getting nothing. And that's really frustrating. And so like I said, I don't want to bad anybody, but I'm kind of glad I don't do it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Because I would really fear, for keeping your family and your children in good nick and that, and yourself. It must have been a really awful time, and it's not got any better, Michael. No, that's the fact.
Yeah. Is there anything else, Ian, that you'd like to mention that I may have missed?
Well, I'm going to mention a couple of things, Michael. We've got a video coming out to support the release of the single, Life in Black and White. That will probably come out. Now, we do things slightly different. I don't know. Have you seen that artwork, Michael, for PastLife?
Yeah.
So we tend to do things a bit different. Now, that goes from the gigs, that goes from writing, that goes from everything. So we went away from the traditional, dare I say, blood and guts of heavy metal, heavy rock. And that's an artist that did that is a chap called Ian, Ian Young. And he's an artist by design from Cumbria. And funny enough, when I talked to him, he was on his way to Newcastle to see Michael Schenker. So he's a rock guy as well, but he does his own fine art, and he also does lots of creative stuff. So he did the artwork for it. So that's all brand new, and nobody else has that. And then the video has been done by a lady called Hannah Rankin, and she has a website called Rock and Roll Babies, and she's got this concept where basically she does figures and figurines and artwork of famous people, and we thought, I could have some of that. So she's mocked us up as these rock and roll babies in the video, and it's all time lapse and stuff, but it's really different. It's not what you'd expect from a rock band, but it's really good, and she's done a really good job on this, and obviously the music's on there as well. So that's exciting. So that's goes back to what you said. Do I get excited? Yes, get excited by that, and that hopefully will fall around about the middle of March. I've done probably not coming out on the 4th, but maybe about the 11th of March. So that's exciting stuff as well. And then generally what we're doing, we're trying to push, we're doing a lot more things at the moment through our website. So our website is the normal www. And it's gonesavageband.com. And if you go on that site now, or possibly I'll run it again in the future, I'm doing things where you can download our music there. So you can pick up our EP, our singles, and the new single, Life in Black and White, will be on there as well. It's currently all on there for free. So we did a concept recently where you can buy it for a fee, or you can buy it for free, and there's no obligation. All that we ask is that you sign up and you take the email, and that's it. So you can have the whole back catalogue for nothing. And that's what we do. So we can afford to put it up there. You can afford to have it for free if you can't afford it. If you can, please, just give us what you can. So that's it. So all that's on our website currently at the moment, but that will close in the next week or so, and it'll go back to download at about £1.
It's a very nice idea there, and very good of you to do that as well, Ian.
Yeah, so it's free up free. That's what we call it.
I know you've just mentioned your website there. Is there any other links that you want to let people know about where they can hear your music and also kind of get in touch with you or get to know you a bit more?
You can. So the one that we really want people to use is our GoneSavageBand.com. That's www.gonesavageband.com. That's our website. The other one that we use a lot of is our Gone Savage UK at Facebook. So it's Gone Savage UK Facebook. We use that. That's a good one we do updates on basically what we're getting up to, what we currently, if you want to hear our music, where you can hear it online or through stations. So that's quite a good place. And then we use Instagram as well, which is gone.savage. It's all lowercase, gone.savage. Instagram, we use that quite a bit as well. Again, we promote through there. And the other one we tend to use is Twitter, which is, it tests me, Michael. It definitely tests me. I have to phone a friend. But it's John Savage. 1 second.
There we go.
We don't. Well, I'm looking for that. And then obviously we do use Spotify, so we would like people to follow us on Spotify. So that would be a really big help. Just search Gone Savage on Spotify, GoneSavage, and give us a follow, because that does help. Spotify gives us very little back. I won't go into the argument on the bigger picture, but the reality is it gives us very little back. But what you can do is if you follow us, that does help us to kind of go up in the algorithms. And if you play our music and share our music, that just keeps these little bots, they call them, interested in what we do, Gone Savage, and then they may help us to get to a bigger audience. So if you could do one thing, go to Spotify and follow us. I'll go to our page, website, I'll go to our Gone Savage Facebook page and give us a follow or a like. These are the places that can help.
Indeed. Well, Ian, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure speaking to you again.
No problem, sir.
And hopefully we'll have some more interviews with you in the future.
Definitely, Michael. Like I say, we are actively looking to get out. I mean, that is the biggest thing for me this year, is to get out, get a band out, and get the music out. Like I said, the reality at the moment, and again, we're not trying to get the violins out, but we do everything ourselves. So I've got to do this before I can do that. I can't do it all, as you well know. There's only 7 days a week, and I'm currently running on 7. So I want to get this out, and then I'll look at the gigs, and then we will look to letting people know. And definitely would love to have a Newcastle gig. So the more people that get involved and like us, and let's all get together, and hopefully by autumn we can have some dates.
There we go. So basically just keep tabs on all the social media that Ian has just said there, and that will definitely help you and also get you to know when these gigs are coming up. And as well, just before I go, please, if you wouldn't mind, drop us a like on my Facebook page as well, Michael Hepple on the radio. Find out exactly what's going on with me. I have currently just gone back to Nova Radio Northeast, yes, for the 3rd time, but this time it's all a little bit different. I'm not going back as a presenter, I'm going back as a reporter. I am joining Rob Pears' Sports Zone team. There's about at least 12 of us who go to matches and report for the team news, to any goals and things like that, all football. With me being from North Shields, I've been going to North Shields games, and I am there this Saturday, which would be the 26th of February. On the day of recording this, it is the 23rd. North Shields are at home to Billingham in the Northern League, and I will be reporting for Nova on that Saturday as well. But obviously, you can keep up to date on my Facebook page, Michael Hepple on the radio, of all the latest football matches that I'll be at. And obviously North Shields is my first team. They're the team I'd normally go to see. But if North Shields are playing miles away or haven't got a game, I would also be tempted to go to Whitley Bay, Newcastle Benfield, or Heatonstown as well, as they're all pretty close in that area. So just keep an eye on that as well if you like your football. But obviously as well, music-wise as well, you know me, I love my music, especially unsigned. I hope to have many more interviews for you coming up really soon. But again, thank you very much to Ian for joining us this afternoon, and also thank you very much to you all for giving this a listen. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and why not share this interview with your friends so they can hear it as well. Take care, everybody. Bye for now. See you all very, very soon.